Hey, remember me? First, I want to say thank you to everyone who has supported us over on Locked On. It's been borderline overwhelming seeing how many people I have seen come over and watch those videos. And it's also been a little bit heartbreaking, and I'll explain that. It's been heartbreaking because every time I see a Brian or a Matthew or so many of you, just the two names that immediately came to my mind, Zach, a bunch of you. Every time I see it, I'm reminded that, oh crap, I haven't posted an update on Mile Y in a while. And the reason I haven't posted an update in a while is because I'm not feeling so good, folks. If I'm just being honest with you. I currently have 3 jobs right now. I have my job at NBC. I have my job with Emerald City Spectrum, and I have my job with Locked On. And all 3 of those are guaranteed pay. Okay. Like when I do the work, I get paid for the work no matter what. And unfortunately, that's put Mile Y to the side while I'm not feeling well because it's the one thing that I can't fire myself for my own YouTube channel. I mean, I could be weird. Don't know who'd hit the record button. But if I don't do my Locked On work, I'd get fired. If I don't do my work for NBC Sports, I'd get fired. If I don't do my work for Emerald City Spectrum, I'd get fired. Okay. And all 3 of those have been super supportive and all of that. I'm not saying that. It's not even close to that. But what I'm saying is this is the one that had to get pushed away. Just an update on the health. The headaches have not gone away, and the cirrhosis has progressed enough that we are now trying a new medication. I'm trying it for the first time tonight, but there's a very good chance I'm going to have to start dialysis. And dialysis is extremely expensive and extremely draining, literally and figuratively. So I'm really, really hoping that this pill works. We'll see. But it wasn't just me. And I think you probably know this, but just in case, this was not a case of me just saying, got something else now. I don't need to do my LY. No, this is my baby. This is something that I will do for the rest of my life, even if it has to become sporadic. And I'm trying to not make it sporadic, and I'm going to try and do as many videos as possible going forward. I've got a little bit more time now. A little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. Certainly enough that I can start doing the series previews again. I'll be honest with you, the last 2 weeks, I just haven't felt well enough to do it. I was just drained. Just absolutely drained. So I did not abandon you. I did not abandon you. I hope you know that. And I hope that I get to do a lot more of this stuff. I hope I get to thank Simply Seattle more, the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Storm, the Sonics, Huskies. You can find it all at Simply Seattle. And then use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. They're the best. We love you, Simply Seattle. And please check them out. Link in the description. All right. So beginning tonight, a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles, whose demise I did not predict. I don't think anybody saw this happening. They are 22-36, 5th in the AL East. Have already fired their manager. Hasn't gotten all that much better since they made that move. But let's take a look at where they rank in some team stats. Start with the offense. The one thing I think everybody thought was that this team was going to hit, right? Nope. They are 25th in runs. They are 25th in on-base percentage. They're 19th in slugging, so a little bit better, but not much. And then 23rd in batting average for those who are interested in that stat. That is a bad offense. It's a much worse pitching staff. They have a 5.27 ERA. The fact that a 5.27 ERA in the year of our Lord 2025 is at last is crazy. It's crazy, but they're 28th. They have a 1.46 whip. That's 27th. They're allowing a 272 average. That's 28th. They only have 17 quality starts. That's tied for 25th. Now, let's take a look at what they've done lately. They are coming off a series win They were able to beat the Angels 2 out of 3. Before that, let's take a look. Great job as always. They did win. They split a series with Boston, so they didn't win it. They lost a series against the Cardinals, and they lost a series against the Brewers. So they've won one of their past few series. And also, I lied to you. It wasn't the Angels. They swept the White Sox this weekend. Perfect. Return and just screw everything up. Even with that sweep of the White Sox, who are the second worst team in baseball, and only because the Colorado Rockies somehow exist, they're not playing well. They are not playing well at all. They pitched pretty well over that last series, but it's just not been a very good go for them. Offensively, their best players right now. Gunnar Henderson got off to a really bad start, but is starting to play better. He's got a 753 OPS, 7 homers, 6 stolen bases. Jackson Holiday has looked good in the leadoff spot for them. 759 OPS, hitting 269, 7 homers, 5 stolen bases. Adley Rutschman has just been awful. Awful, awful, awful. And we can kind of end the debate of who's better between Big Dumper and Adley right now. Right now, that's not even like kind of debatable. He's hitting 203 with a 632 OPS, which I just didn't see coming. Like, I know Rutschman was really bad at the end of last year. But that's oof magoof bad. That is oof magoof bad. Their best offensive player has been Ryan O'Hearn, and it isn't even close. And Ryan O'Hearn would be someone I think the Seattle Mariners should show interest in, should they make some moves, and I would imagine they are going to. He's hitting 329, 416, 535 with 9 homers. Platoon player, but a really good platoon player, and, going to face right-handers because the Seattle Mariners only have right-handers in their rotation and just one lefty in the bullpen. Some other guys to note: Heston Kierstad has not been performing very well. Ryan Mountcastle has not been performing very well. Tyler O'Neill, his first season with Baltimore, has been limited by injury, but limited by also terrible production. He's hitting 188, 280, 325. This offense is super talented. Cedric Mullins, I believe, is currently on the injured list. If he's not, he may have just gotten off it. I swear I ended up writing a update on him. Yeah, I think he is on the injured list because he hasn't played since May 28th. He was actually having a kind of decent start to his season, but Baltimore's offense just hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. It's easy to just blame the pitching, and we'll talk about that now. But the offense is a big reason why the Baltimore Orioles are dead last in the American League East. So those pitching matchups, as we were just leading into, tonight, Tuesday, we have Tomoyuki Sagano against George Kirby. On Wednesday, we have Cade Povich against Emerson Hancock. And then on Thursday, we have Zach Eflin against Brian Wu. Sugano's kind of interesting, and it's been fun to see him pitch well because I wrote an article about him for NBC Sports and how I thought he did have some fantasy upside. And a lot of people disagreed with me. Well, he's pitched pretty well. Couple of shaky outings, not terrible by any means, but lately, but 3.23 ERA, he can locate everything for strikes. It's the type of pitcher that the Mariners have struggled with in the past, and at time, you know what? They've struggled with that type of profile lately as well. So this will be an interesting matchup. To me, the key is whether or not George Kirby's command is better. It's great to see him back on the bump. It's awesome to see that he still has pretty darn good stuff, but he hasn't commanded anything. And it's worth pointing out, this was his 5th overall start, including spring training. So there's reason to believe that he's still not quite in regular season mode just yet, even with the electric stuff. I have a lot of confidence in George Kirby's command getting better. And I wouldn't be surprised if George Kirby shoved tonight. Now, I don't know if he's going to get super deep, but I could see 5 innings, 6 innings, maybe, of 1 to 2 run baseball with 7 or 8 strikeouts. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And that should be good enough. That should be good enough. Cade Povich is a left-hander. The Mariners, of course, with their platoon lineup, scare the absolute crap out of me. And Cade Povich, though, has not been very good. He has a 5.29 ERA on the season. He's coming off a bad start against St. Louis, where he went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs. Not exactly a strike thrower. Now has missed bats. He had 9 strikeouts, against St. Louis. He had 9 strikeouts against Washington. There's good stuff there. There's horrible command. So if the Mariners are patient or attack because his command's not very good early on, but don't let him throw not quality strikes. The Seattle Mariners should be able to get to him. And then the final matchup here, Zach Eflin. Eflin has a 4.46 ERA, a 1.09 whip, which is pretty darn good. Take a look at what he's done over his last few starts. He's coming off a really good one against Double-A Montgomery, aka the Chicago White Sox. He was hit pretty hard in his previous ones. Eflin's beatable. He's a guy who throws a lot of strikes, but beatable. Very similar to Sagano, I think, actually, in terms of profile. I would say that if Brian Wu and Emerson Hancock and George Kirby pitch even close to the best of their abilities, you should win this series. It would be a bad series loss. I still think Baltimore is going to get right at some point. It's probably too late, but they're going to start playing better. And, they're coming off a 3-game sweep. They're coming off a sweep. Even if it's not against the best team, it's still 3 wins in a row. But don't let them get right here. Don't let them get right against what is a much better team than the Chicago White Sox. Maybe not the best team in baseball, but a much better team. I think you have to win this series. I think you need to win this series in part because you want to have a winning homestand. Now, how important that truly is up for debate, I suppose. But after a 1-5 homestand the previous week, be pretty nice to get a 5-4 one at least, even with a lost series to the Nationals. I thought they played really well against the Twins. The bullpen, had some issues in the series against the Nationals, and Andres Munoz does blow 2 saves, excuse me. I thought that was a good series win against a good baseball team. This would be a good series win because all series wins are good against a not so good team, at least so far. Just ending this again by saying thank you so much for your support. I apologize if I don't get these in every single series, but I'm going to do my best. I'm really going to do my best because I really appreciate the support. We will have our updated for subscribers, the Mile Y enthusiasts, will have our updated top 15 prospects. And I'm going to start doing some Seahawks stuff on that portion as well because I'm excited. I'm excited for some football. And we'll do some Kraken stuff too. Like as the Kraken makes some moves, I'll do some stuff along those lines as long as I'm feeling okay. And I appreciate you keeping me in your thoughts, your prayers, whatever. I feel selfish asking for it, but beggars can't be choosers, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go Mariners. And thank you again for your support and your patience.